take a few moments just to breathe, just to be in silence for a few moments. The past couple of weeks, I've been talking about Kriya Yoga, which is another word for yoga in practice. And when most of us think of that word yoga in practice, we probably have the idea of doing something like this, right? Get your arms up or doing a plank or something. And but the Yoga Sutras say what constitutes yoga in practice are three things: purifying the mind through accepting pain. Now that we can talk about that, but I already talked about that, so we'll leave that for another time. Study of the self, study of spiritual teachings, whether it's the Bible or the Hindu scriptures, doesn't matter. Study something spiritual that helps you to get out of your limited self. And the third thing is surrender to the Supreme Being, however you understand Supreme Being. And then the second sutra, the second of the Yoga Sutras on practice, says that the practice of yoga is attained by lessening the hindrances and attaining samadhi. Or another way to say it is that the purpose of yoga is to lessen the hindrances and attain samadhi. And then the next one goes on to talk about what those hindrances are, one of them being hatred. So now I want to jump over to one of the teachings of the Buddha, because the Buddha says a lot about hatred. He says, hatred cannot be overcome by hate, but by love alone. And this is an ancient and eternal law. Now, I was just at the Martin Luther King event last night, and it turns out MLK used that exact same phrase. You just have to love Martin Luther King. He was inspired by Mahatma Gandhi, also that same region of the world, India. He drew from the Bhagavad Gita. Martin Luther King was inspired also by Thich Nhat Hanh, Thich Nhat Hanh was also inspired deeply by Martin Luther King. So all this crossover of teachings and how to actually put it into practice. And of course, Martin Luther King was able to put it into practice on a large scale, on a social scale, as was Mahatma Gandhi. And we're just practicing right here on a small scale, right? We're learning, how do we put the teachings of yoga into practice? How do we lessen the hindrances? Well, what helps us to lessen hindrances? Accepting pain as help for purification. This is why Gandhi could go in front of the British rule and take blows from the British police officers. It's not something that we want, but to not return those blows. That's a really, really hard practice. All we're doing here is sitting still, and that can be a very difficult practice, just simply to sit still, to be still with our mind. Our mind can be our best friend or our worst enemy. And I'm no better at this practice than you guys. I'm just happening to be in a place to talk about it. The second thing is to study ourselves. And the third thing is to surrender, to practice surrendering. So just some food for thought. Hatred is not overcome by hate, but by love alone. This is an ancient and eternal law. Something that we can strive to put in practice right here and right now. All right? So let's just take a few moments to sit. Maybe follow the breath. See what's coming up for us. Study the self. Surrender. All right. And we'll just start out with some warm-up exercises. Feel free to bring your hands over to one side of the mat, maybe just kind of lowering your torso down towards your knee a little bit, and rocking a little bit here if you want. You can kind of lower it. If you're lowering your body, your trunk towards the left side, to focus on also lowering the right shoulder. So if your trunk is turned towards the left, see if you can lower the right shoulder. Breathing here. You feel any expansion in the low back. And then rising back up, walking the hands over to the other side of the body and dropping the opposite shoulder. So if you're over to the right side, drop the left shoulder. If you're on the left side, drop the right shoulder. Take a couple breaths. All right, and then walking the hands to center now, and then walking them a little bit forward just to lower the trunk down towards the floor. How low you go is up to you. And we're just kind of stretching the tops of the legs, the buttocks, maybe the back just a little bit, the hips maybe. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then walking the hands back to the center. Stretch out the left leg, if you will, and just kind of get a little stretch to the back of the leg here. We're just going to turn the trunk towards the leg and just gently lower the head towards the knee in that direction. Again, how much space there is between your head and your knee is determined by what you're feeling and noticing in your body. And the aim here is just to stretch the back of the leg. So if you feel something pulling in the back of the leg, you're doing it the way that's the aim. The shape your body takes is really secondary to what you're noticing in the back of your leg, and that pull in the back of your leg. That's what we're aiming for. Sometimes we get really caught up in the shape our body takes. It's not really the essential piece in yoga. Although some schools of yoga really are concerned about the proper alignment of the body, and that has its place as well. But for us, for right now, just getting a sense of pulling in the back of the leg, turning the trunk towards the midline of the body comes towards the knee. In this case, my left knee is where I'm bringing my trunk down towards. All right, and then sitting back up, we just kind of bring our hands and knees to the mat. And begin some cat-cows here. And just at your own pace, kind of get a sense of your back. Inhaling to lower the abdomen. Exhaling to raise it back up. When we start to breathe in sync with our body, something shifts internally, or something can shift for us internally when we move in sync with the breath. Like a synchronized movement. A lot of times we're out of sync with our breath. And when we're out of sync with our breathing, we can be out of sync also with the environment around us. Yeah, go ahead. Exactly, yeah. As you draw the head down, exhaling, breathing out. As you lift the head up, inhaling.
All right, and then when you're ready, let's transition to downward dog, lifting the knees up off the ground, maybe walking the heels in place. Stretching out the shoulders a little bit, maybe the back a little bit. You can bend both knees at the same time if you want. Just kind of lowering the head a little bit between the arms. Keeping the elbows straight, I find, is really helpful to isolate the shoulders here so that the arms aren't working so hard, but the shoulders get some good, this is a good strengthening pose for your shoulders, downward dog. All right, and then let's walk the feet to the hands, coming to the top of the mat and preparing for sun salutation. This is another one you can come to stand when you're ready. And with the sun salutation, I really want to focus also on synchronizing with our breathing. Again, I think synchronizing with the breath can be a really powerful practice for us, getting us back in touch with our body through movement. And for a lot of people who sit still, try to meditate sitting still, can be very difficult to follow their breath without that movement. So sun salutation gives us that chance to connect with the breath as we're moving. So let's do that with the breath. We'll do 3 rounds of this, starting with the palms in front of the heart. And exhale here. Then inhale, reach the arms forward and up. On the next exhale, lower, fold in half from the hips. Exhaling. Inhaling, stepping the left foot back or sliding it back. Now you might need to take more than one breath here, but the key is that to move in sync with the breath. So if you need to take more breaths once you're in the pose, that's fine. But consider being attentive to the movement of the breath with the movement of the body. All right, so on this next one, we're going to exhale as we slide the right foot back. Exhale. And then again, you can inhale, exhale, a couple of breaths here, or as many breaths as you need. Okay. Next one is an inhale. You can come into plank, the inhale, and really pushing the floor away from your body. Engaging the hands, pushing the floor away from your body, engaging the shoulders here, elbows straight for the moment, engaging the core muscles. Ready? Exhale and bend the elbows, come on down. And then inhale, lifting up the head, neck, and shoulders. Exhaling to downward dog. Get a few breaths here. All right, stepping the left foot forward or sliding it forward, however you want to get it there. And inhaling as you step it forward. Maybe rocking here a little bit if you want. Right foot stepping or hopping. You can hop your right foot forward if you want. Take your time. Make sure your hands are solid there on the ground. Just kind of rock that right foot forward or hop it. Exhaling. Exhaling once you're there. Just kind of just kind of exhale to help to relax the upper body. Inhale to stand. We're opening up the body, so sending that air in there. Lifting the arms, bending back a little bit, and then exhaling, bringing the hands down in front of the heart. All right, let's take a few breaths here. All right. Get a sense of how your body's feeling, what you might need. If you need to take a rest, if you want to sit this one out, that's fine. Or if you want to get some water, or if you feel ready for the next one. Ready? Here we go. Breathing in And breathing out. Feeling the back of the legs as the head comes down. Breathing in, right foot slides back. And breathing out, left foot steps back or slides back. And let's just rest here for a few moments here. Downward dog. As you're breathing, you might notice your rib cage expand as you inhale, contract as you exhale. All right, let's lower the knees down. Inhale. You can shift the body. So last time we had our knees raised, but you can also lower your knees if you want to. And just kind of shift the shoulders over the hands. Take a breath in. And on the exhale, bend the elbows and lower yourself down. So that's another way to do this. Remember, with all these poses, there's multiple ways to do them. All right, ready? Lifting up the head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale. Maybe take a few breaths here. And then pushing up and back, and bend the knees here, curl the toes under the feet. And on the exhale, lift the knees. On the exhale, lift the knees. Breathe. Take some full breaths in. Maybe you can feel the back of your legs as you breathe in. Okay, ready? Inhaling and sliding or stepping the right foot forward. You could lower your knee here. It's totally fine to do that. All right, exhaling and sliding or stepping your left foot forward. Let me just kind of get a sense of the back of the body here. We're really resting, softening from the hips up. So the shoulders are relaxed, the neck's relaxed, the arms relaxed. Okay, ready? We'll just kind of roll up to stand as you inhale. Coming up. Lifting the arms up. Back. And then exhaling, hands in front of the heart. All right. Let's that was two. I said we were going to do three, but let's do kind of an intermittent interim period here. We just focus on the breath and synchronizing with the movement of the arms. Just get a feel for that, what that feels like. So breathing in and lifting the arms up. Breathing out, lowering the arms down. So it's a little bit simpler movement. Sometimes I start out with these. We're just going to bring it in the middle here. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling. Just going at your own pace, your own rhythm. Exhaling. Here's something that can be helpful for gaining some degree of presence by using your eyes to look at your hands as they move. So the focus is on your own body. We're all works in progress here. There's not a right way or a wrong way as we do this. It's just like feeling your body, noticing your own body. Inhaling, exhaling. You might notice a difference when you're actually looking at your own skin. Like, oh, these are my hands. Oh, okay. You might notice some kind of internal shift as you do this. Maybe.
Sometimes we notice stuff change internally, sometimes not. Okay, just do one more of these and then we'll transition to back to that last sun salutation. Okay. All right, I'm going to start to go to the front of the mat here. I mean, we can just forego the palms together and just breathing in, breathing out. You can bend your knees here if you want to lower your hands down towards your feet. And once your hands come all the way down, bend your knees enough to get your hands all the way down to the mat, sliding your left foot back, inhaling, exhaling, right foot back when you're ready. We'll just pause here for a few breaths. Okay, and then we'll lower the knees down. Keep those elbows straight for now. Kind of squeezing the pectoral muscles together a little bit. Yeah, take a breath in. When you're ready, exhale and lower your whole body down. And inhale and lifting the head. Exhale, push into the ground. Just pause here and tabletop. Right, curl the toes, lift the knees, and exhale. All right, taking a few breaths here. Okay, when you're ready, left foot stepping forward or sliding it forward. Inhaling. And then sliding the right foot forward. Exhaling. And roll up when you're ready, rolling up. And as you lift the arms up, inhaling. Just like before, inhaling. And exhaling, and forego bringing the palms together. Just bring the hands back down to the sides. And turning the palms slightly outward, just to open up the shoulders a little bit. Pausing here. And here in mountain pose, maybe check your feet. You can look down at them. You can kind of adjust them, feel the bottoms of the feet. Right? Or you can just kind of get a sense of your feet without looking down. Either way is fine. But this whole idea of the eyes looking at your feet can help to ground you. It's kind of getting a sense of being in this particular space. All right, let's go ahead and lay down on our backs to rest. We just warmed up. We just kind of finished warming up our bodies. So now we're going to transition to giving ourselves a little rest. Notice how it feels to be on your back. Keeping in mind that you can stay here for as long as you want. If you want to rest, if you need to spend more time than the pace that I'm going, resting on your back, that is totally fine. You could come back to this resting pose as well at any point during the class. All right. Maybe just take a moment to feel the connection between your back and the floor underneath. You might notice some internal shifts. I know for me, as soon as I laid my head down, I was like, oh, wow. I could really feel a change in kind of what I was noticing in my body. There was some kind of an internal shift there when my head lay down on the ground. There was a kind of a softening of the muscles in my torso, my shoulders, my neck. That's just what I noticed. I'm not saying that everybody's supposed to feel that way, but um, just saying that to encourage you to notice what you're feeling as you do this. Okay, just maybe another 10 seconds here. All right, feel free to stretch the arms out overhead when you're ready. Gonna give your shoulders, your arms a little stretch. Take in a little bit. You can maybe take a bigger breath in, hold the breath in for a sec. And then releasing when you're ready, roll onto your front side and recenter on your mat. We'll do some back strengthening poses here. Back strengthening poses. Hands come underneath the shoulders for this one. This is Cobra. Feet come together, so the toes are pointed, the feet are together, and the forehead comes to the mat. Elbows tucked into the sides. Okay, when you're ready, take a breath in and hold the breath. Then lift the head and release the breath. Just breathe normally here. Kind of get a sense of your back. And the arms are really just relaxing here. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything to help lift your back up. Okay, we just hold for maybe another 10 seconds. All right, and then let's just kind of lift the chin, place it down on the mat if that's okay for your neck and back. If not, you can also put your forehead to the mat. All right, so chin or forehead, see what feels more comfortable for you. Make a choice on how you want to do this. And then we can just kind of rest our hands at our side. When you're ready, lift the left leg up, holding that up there. All right, lifting the left leg up, relax the right leg as much as possible, just lifting the left leg. Breathing normally. And just for you folks online, just let me know, unmute yourself and just let me know if you have any trouble hearing me. I'm trying to use these earbuds to work. Okay, let's lower the left leg down. Exhale. Take a breath in, hold it. Lift the right leg up and release the breath. Normal breath here. And hold, lifting the right leg up, holding, breathing normal. So sometimes the speakers go out on the earbuds for whatever reason. Just let me know if the sound quality changes, please. All right, 3, 2, 1, and rest. All right, let's feel free to turn your head to one side if it isn't already, and rest for a few moments here. Take your time to notice how it feels to be resting.
All right, let's try one more here. This is called locust pose. It's kind of a combo of what we just did. You just bring your chin to the mat or forehead, hands to your sides, lifting both legs up simultaneously, if that works for you. All right, see if you can try that. Lifting both legs up. If you need to lift your head up, that's fine. You can also have your hands resting underneath your chin if you want, or resting your chin on your hands. Just kind of lifting both legs up if possible. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and lower down and rest. Let's go ahead and roll over onto our side and then onto our back. Recenter on our mat and rest. Just really want to encourage everybody to really go into the rest. It's a really important and big part of yoga, just that resting helps us to become more flexible. Because it's when we're doing some of these poses, the more we can rest in the pose, the more naturally the muscles will stretch. We don't have to force them to do something they're not ready to do. Okay, let's do the next one. We're going to do some forward folding poses, stretching the arms out over the head. Take a deep breath in and hold it. And peeling your back up, engage your core. Use your arms to push off the floor if you need to, and make your way up to a seat. All right. Try some forward folds. First one is head to knee pose. We did this at the beginning. Try it again here. We'll lift one knee up and then fold it over to one side. Either the right leg or the left, either one is fine. And turning towards your extended leg, you could have your knee bent here if you need to. All right, toes pointing up, arms rising up towards the ceiling. Inhale, tucking the chin. Exhale, fold over the extended leg. Just really allowing your upper back and neck to rest, your chin to tuck a bit, forehead to come down to the knee. And that's why it's called head to knee pose, not hands to toes pose. Head to knee. That's the direction we want to go. Hatred is not overcome by hate, but by love alone. I love that. See if we can introduce some love into our body here. Just this sense of loving our body. This is so important for as a part of yoga practice, to love this body wherever it happens to be. Right? So often we hate ourselves, we hate our body, we hate our mind, and then that doesn't do anybody any good. So let's practice loving this body. Accepting it is a form of love. All right, and then coming back up to a seat and reversing the legs. So extend out the bent leg, bend the straight leg, use that knee to help lift you up, and then lower down the knee, rising your arms, inhale, and exhale, folding over the extended leg. And let the arms rest. If they can come down to the floor, that's fine, just let them rest. The sign of a resting upper back is the elbows are bent, arms are not forced forward, muscles in the upper shoulders are relaxing.
right, and then when you're ready, come back up to a seat. Let's do a little twist here. We'll extend the bent knee. We'll bend the straight knee and use that leg to lengthen up your back or step the right, or I'm starting with my right foot here. So right foot over left, and the right foot over the left. And then again, see if you can work towards straightening the back. These muscles in the mid back help us to kind of be straight. You can hold on to your knee with your left hand, right hand behind your back, and twist a little bit, just a little turn. Start the turn from the base of the spine, and then slowly middle back, and then the shoulders turn, and then the last thing to turn is the head, to look over the shoulder or in that direction, moving in that direction. Taking a few breaths here. Really check in with yourself, see how if you notice anything change internally. Twists help to replenish whatever's been lost through the adrenal gland, so it helps to stimulate the adrenals. All right, then come back to center when you're ready. And let's reverse the legs. Remember to use the leg to help you lengthen up, stepping the left foot over to right. Grab the left knee with the right hand behind the back, and twist. Start with the base of the spine, right? Foundation. That's where the twist begins. Gradually working your way up the spine, shoulders, neck. And back to center. And you're ready. All right. Just kind of take a moment just to crisscross the legs, sitting up. See how the body's responding to all this yoga so far. All right. For our inversion of the day, let's do downward dog. So come onto the hands and knees and make downward dog not just the part of the sun salutation, but just a pose in and of itself. So starting out with tabletop, elbows straight, shoulders engaged, toes curled under the feet, lifting the knees up, pushing into the heels of the hands, right? And externally rotating the shoulders as much as possible, internally rotating the thighs. So there's an external rotation of the shoulders, internal rotation of the thighs. Make sure your thumbs are pressed down into the ground. Fingers are spread wide apart. Here's another opportunity to bring some love into your body, right? Wherever you happen to be here in this pose. And just stay here for maybe another 20 seconds. If you need to come out of the pose sooner, feel free. You might notice pressure in the head. You may also notice the distribution of weight between your hands and your feet. See if you can equally distribute the weight between the hands and the feet so that the hands aren't taking more than the feet. Okay, just another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And lower the knees. And go ahead and have a seat once again. Sit. See how your body is again responding to that inversion. Noticing in that shift from having the head below the heart versus the head as it usually is above the heart. All right, let's do, it's called Yoga Mudra. We place the hands behind the back, grab hold of the wrist with the left hand, and round the back, lowering the head towards the floor, just kind of slowly rounding the back. The head comes down, forehead comes down towards the floor. If it doesn't touch the floor, that's fine. If it does, that's fine too. Just take a few breaths here. And then beginning to slowly rise back up. You can make this the slowest movement of the class. All right, releasing the hands, resting them in the lap or on the knees. Kind of getting a sense again, how does your body feel? Right. All right, then let's transition to Yoga Nidra, deep relaxation. So find a place on your back here on the mat when you're ready. And I'm going to add a layer of, put my socks back on. Sometimes the body temperature drops when we do Yoga Nidra. And that's a sign of going into a kind of a deep rest when the body temperature lowers. Right. I'll just spend the next about 5 to 10 minutes here resting, and we'll do this methodically. So going through the different parts of our body, starting with our feet. And in fact, let's just kind of wiggle the legs, wiggle the arms a little bit, maybe the head a little bit. And then when you're ready, take a deep breath in and hold it in. Squeeze the legs and arms simultaneously, lift them up, the head as well, lift, squeeze everything, and release. Letting the breath out, returning the breath to normal. Again, wiggling the arms and legs a little bit. All right, now I'll find a comfortable place in which to have your hands and legs. If you want to crisscross your legs, that's fine. If you want them straight, that's fine. Whatever's comfortable for you at this time. Eyes could be closed or open, either way, whatever you're comfortable with. And we'll start with the feet. Disengaging the muscles in the feet. All right, see if you can find a way that works for you to begin to soften the muscles in your own feet without necessarily moving them. Just kind of let them rest or send a mental signal to that area asking it to rest. And then we're slowly moving up the legs towards the knees, slowly softening the muscles between the feet and the knees. And then between the knees, slowly moving up towards the top of the legs and slowly resting those muscles there. And then from the hips towards the abdominal area, just below the rib cage. See if you can soften mentally, soften the muscles between the hips and the bottom of the rib cage. All right, and then transitioning to the ribs themselves to disengage the muscles around the ribs, including the heart. The heart is a large muscle right there in the center of the chest. Just asking it maybe to slow down a little bit. All right, and then moving into the shoulders, disengaging the shoulders, the neck muscles, and then from the shoulders down through the elbows, allowing all those muscles between the shoulders and elbows to rest. And then between the elbows and the hands, slowly softening the muscles between the elbows and the hands. And including the hands and fingers. And lastly, the muscles surrounding the face. And the muscles surrounding the face. You can soften the muscles of the forehead, the muscles around your eyebrows, and that might be enough to soften the rest of the muscles around the face. Just focusing on the forehead and eyebrows can send like a cascading effect of relaxation through the not only through the face but the whole body. Okay, and then forget about the body, just transitioning to noticing the flow of breath, the inhale, the exhale, the movement of air in the body.
And then bringing awareness to the thoughts, whatever thoughts might be there, just to witness, to bring the witness function into operation, witnessing thoughts, whatever's there. The witness doesn't get caught by the thoughts, it's separate. Like you're watching the thoughts take place across the street. And then if you're not there already, really allow yourself to sink into any sense of ease, right? Like a sponge just sopping up water, just sop up the any sense of ease that you notice. Oh. All right, and then that's a signal to mm, begin to wake up the body if you're ready. If you need to stay longer resting, that's fine too. Going to begin to wiggle the toes and circle the feet around a little bit, wiggle the fingers and circle the hands around a little bit. Kind of come back to your physical body. Sometimes for yoga nidra, we can really kind of have an out of body experience. And it's important to come back to the body, feel the physical body. And in your own time, make your way to one side, left or right, coming up to a seat. Close with a short meditation. And by that, I just mean we sit without any particular objective. We just sit without any particular objective. And in closing together, may all beings be safe. May all beings be well.
and may all beings be happy. Especially you guys, your friends, your families. May they all be well, safe, and happy. Thank you.